Alright, response video, gratex. I don't know, he made this video a few days ago, and he sort of added on to it, but it's a, it's a worthwhile subject, and the title's good, because it just kind of gets to the bottom line point. And I'll point out again, this is endgame philosophy, okay? This isn't pragmatic, what do we do tomorrow kind of philosophy, but this is the endgame truth. If we're really going to be serious and talk about what the truth is, this is where you're going to end up, is in this conversation. So anyway. The video, I'll start around 2 minutes, because he just babbles about his bike and life and beautiful days and all that kind of bullshit, so we'll get to the real deal.
So that's the argument, okay? The universe must be destroyed. And I have to refute that argument. I have to refute the argument that the universe must be destroyed. Because just to call somebody stupid for making that argument isn't enough. So I have to refute it in a way that he will accept it being refuted.
Yeah, well, look, yeah, you do. You really have to make a counter-argument, and the argument isn't that complicated. I mean, what is so complicated? You're just disputing the fact that there's some equation, there is a half glass, half full, there's a reality to where the glass is, and we can argue about it now, but the more you refine our mental instrument of examination, there's a point where you're going to be able to figure it out and quantify this a little more clearly, and make certain decisions. And we would make the decisions. We make them every day. People make value judgments every day about the cost effectiveness of something. It doesn't have to do with any subjective desires or perceptions. It has to do with their rational perceptions. I don't eat meat. Some people won't buy whale products. Other people make other choices, and they make them rationally. They can look at a zoo and they can say that's either an acceptable zoo or an unacceptable zoo in terms of how it treats animals. And they don't do it by some subjective standard. They do it because they understand that there's a rational equation about the value versus the value, the positive value versus the negative value. It's not that fucking complicated.
But obviously, since he hates life and wants to die, how can I possibly refute it in a way that will be acceptable to him?
Well, it's beside the point. What I personally want is irrelevant to the argument, but of course you have to personalize it. You have to distort and distract from the goddamn argument, which is, are we doing something besides chasing our own desire ass? Are we something more than little Frankenstein monsters built to just march through the world trying to find some sort of satisfaction and comfort in an impossible circumstance where we're not going to be able to do that as a practical fact?
Or accept any argument. Just get him laid, pay for a prostitute for him.
Yeah, like I said, people could just make the same arguments about you, that you're distorted by your childhood, of your underdog status has made you some sort of defender of some sort of hopeless circumstance. And, oh, it's okay to live in poverty and misery and cardboard boxness because I survived it, so it's okay. Because I rose above it to become a penniless bum on a broken bicycle. But it's a lovely day. I mean, come on, this is just crap. You want to argue philosophy, or you want to play little petty weasel games? Oops, wrong button. Damn, I hate when I do that.
Or something. Maybe I'll change his mind. Get my wife thing. One of these women that just like to be wives. Somebody from fucking the Philippines or something. Just enjoy being a wife in a Western country.
Yeah, it'd be just so charming to have some bitch around the house all day, right? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's a fucking dream. Just find one of them for us, please. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Great text. I've had a wife for 6 months, and I had a perfect life, perfectly satisfactory in every way. And but I still knew the truth. I wasn't deluded that my temporary happiness would buy me some sort of immunity from sadness, or that my happiness would somehow compensate for somebody else's horror or misery. I mean, I really could figure that out. Sorry, a little self-indulgent there. Play the video.
Whatever it takes. My God, give this guy something to live for. Anyway, an argument, okay, I make an argument. Right. Okay, so if you destroy the universe, okay, your argument will no longer exist. Is that an argument? If you
No, it really isn't. It's like saying, oh, if we fix your problem, then your problem will no longer exist. Yeah, right, exactly. So what? Yeah, I don't need the problem fixed anymore. That's right. So I no longer need the problem fixed. So the problem-fixing problem can now be gone, and that'll be okay because the problem's been fixed. Yes. Whatever. This is just a waste of time.
You also have to destroy your argument that the universe must be destroyed because your argument is part of the universe. Is that a decent enough argument?
No, it's just a silly waste of time.
Guess not. Okay, the guy's line of argument. The guy's fucking simplifications of the complexity of the universe.
Ah, right. Now we're getting to the good stuff. So your argument is that I'm being too simplistic, and you fucktards who are pretending you're on some sort of adventure haven't overcomplicated it. Okay, let's see. Let's see who can defend which side of that argument. Let's hear the argument for your life is more complicated. Let me hear how you got evidence of that. Ah, damn it, I hit the wrong button again. Damn, fuck. I'm fucking this video up.
Boils down to you can prove using logical truths related to facts that life suffers, and suffering is negative. Therefore, all life must be killed.
Well, no, therefore it's a zero-sum game. I mean, I've made the point, okay? Our desire perverts our perception. If there's a scale in front of us, our desire perverts the balance. And it makes us capable of seeing, okay, we get this little bit of satisfaction, but we know we're not really chasing the feeling of the good feeling. The desire is more than, like, we don't eat because we think, oh yeah, I'll feel good when I eat. No, we just eat because we're compelled, we're addicted to it. It doesn't matter how we feel, we're going to do it. And that's, we're addicted. So the question is what's the value, the real value of the stuff we want, the heroin, versus the pain, which is, we see that, the suffering that is entailed to get to the heroin. You can't have the heroin for free. Somebody's got to go into the ground, into the coal mines, and dig the heroin out. Somebody's got to do the sacrificing, and there's just to exist, you take these risks. You're going to have a certain amount of cholera, and a certain amount of malaria, and a certain amount of cancer, and a certain amount of this, and it's all going to be piled on. And that's the price you're going to pay for this satisfaction of what is an addiction, and that's the argument. And if it's seen honestly, if the scales are looked at honestly, without an addictive personality looking at them, my argument to you is that, yes, you'll see the imbalance, that there's no way to win the game. It's a zero-sum game. You can perfect it and achieve zero, but you're never going to win anything. Again, fucking hey, I keep hitting the wrong button.
All life must be destroyed. And that's his argument. Just like maybe 40 words. 40 words.
Yeah, let's be clear. All life must be destroyed. My argument is that you just don't perpetuate it. I mean, obviously, in some cases, that might require you to destroy something. I'm just saying, have your chickens, but never have another egg.
To describe the universe. Yeah, but like the universe, it is so small and simple that you can.
Well, size really doesn't have anything to do with complexity, does it? And aren't the principles that run it very simple? I mean, it's chemistry, and then chemistry that acquires the capacity to reproduce itself. Is there anything really more to it than that? Isn't it that fucking simple? And isn't the reproducing chemistry, this word we use, life, this fancy, pretty word, isn't that driven by really just two forces, consumption and reproduction? Is there some other agenda, some other mission, some other goal? No, there isn't. So yeah, it is pretty fucking simple, gratex. You can pretend it's not, but it runs on very simple mechanics, and they're mechanics that have no appreciation for consequence, casualty, collateral damage. It's really dumb forces, and dumb forces do dumb things. And creating, consuming, and reproducing hardware that has no control mechanism is a dumb thing.
Wait, like 40 months. Yeah, I'm supposed to refute that.
Well, I'm just, if it's just so laughable, then yeah, you really should be able to. You should be able to come up with some sort of explanation for why it's not addiction, for why desire isn't just a contrivance of a DNA molecule as it evolves through its permutations, and that it is for naught. There's nothing achieved but the satisfaction of desire that never needed to exist. There's no accomplishment but cleaning up messes that never needed to exist.
But anyway, he brings on the baby killing argument as well. It's like, killing babies is objectively wrong.
I don't think I've made that argument. I can't remember I ever said killing babies is objectively wrong. I really don't. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of respect for babies. So I don't think that's a very good... I mean, maybe in rhetoric I've used the terminology just to be sympathetic, like, we're killing the future children or some other argument I've made. But I mean, you really would have to quote where you got this idea that I'm all upset because babies are in trouble. I'm upset because sentient creatures are in trouble.
That's not. It's objectively wrong. Why is it objectively wrong to kill babies?
Is it objectively wrong to hammer a nail into a normal 10-year-old kid's head for absolutely no reason whatsoever? Accomplishes absolutely nothing. It does nothing. You're only doing it just to drive a nail into their head. That you're going to make an argument to me that wouldn't be something we can declare absolutely to be a waste, stupid, unintelligent, unreasonable, moronic, inefficient, unproductive, destructive, negative, idiotic thing to do. That's your argument. That's somehow a debatable question. It's not absolutely 100% stupid.
In what way is it objectively wrong to kill babies? Where's the logical proof for killing babies being wrong? Where's the formal logic? Where's the scientific logic? Where's the rational logic for it being?
Well, shouldn't there be logic? Well, whatever. I don't even know where you're going with this babble.
Please, show us the way. wizard of science. Because I can use science to determine how much torque I should be putting into each pedal stroke in order to.
Right, so now he's finally getting to something here. So he's talking about efficiency. He says, see, I can take some other circumstance and I can look at that circumstance as a whole economy, and I can say, well, what's the thing you want to accomplish? You want to get energy out of it. So, all right, yeah, how do you maximize it? How do you reduce the amount of friction? How do you get the most forward motion out of the energy you put into it? But he refuses to think that it's proper or appropriate to apply the same kind of rational judgment to figuring out how we should live, or whether we should live, or what the universe, or to even judge the universe. The universe is a collection of dumb forces, and he's basically saying intelligence shouldn't make judgments about whether the universe, the dumb forces, got it right or wrong or not. We're not allowed to judge the dumb forces. I mean, it's just an idiotic argument.